Yeah, Gurmageth, and look to acknowledge the credentials of people in this chamber, especially the spokespeople and the people bringing forward all the amendments. And I know senators on both sides were looking to bring forward amendments, and the department were, I suppose, and officials were engaging through a lot of stages over the last couple of years. Just on the amendments here at hand, I suppose just the points I'd like to highlight, and I know Senator Alice Mary Higgins was speaking about the excellence, and again through the more recent ones, just about the Sustainable Development Goals. And I suppose when we look at the goals, out of those 17, you would look and you'd see that there's probably a lot been funded, as you've mentioned, probably through the IRC, the SCAI, that are funding an awful lot of our social sciences around the goals that we've mentioned here, ending poverty and hunger, health and education, gender equality, innovation, sustainable cities. Like, we have a lot of centres of excellence as well that are funded, I suppose, through Science Foundation Ireland, that are looking particularly like at Marai across some of these environmental areas. So I think that that's absolutely crucial. But it is very important, as you say, that, and as I think has been acknowledged by the Minister previously, that, where we're looking at reviews of this legislation, when we look forward to this being implemented, because this is ground changing. Like, it's really going to change the way we do things at third level in terms of funding our institutions, supporting and updating the governance of our institutions, and ensuring that students do have a voice in the governance at each stage, particularly of our HEIs. But we need to see this being put into place. It has to be put into place, and the challenge we're seeing here is that hopefully when it is in place and when it is operating as best practice as it should, that we'll be able to look at that segment around the policies, about implementing those policies where we see gaps, and particularly if there are gaps around the sections that have been highlighted. Some of the amendments as well, Senator, just that were just been highlighted, was the research sharing and tech transfer. So just on that one, I suppose just that there is, with due regard to Article of the United Nations Framework, so I suppose just that we have a lot of tech transfer offices, particularly within each of our HEIs, that are working with researchers to do that, and have been funded through the colleges, through the universities, and that it is really important that the research offices within the colleges are doing that as well. So the tech transfer is nearly a separate stage with the research office, and they work quite closely together, and their focus is very different. So if you imagine the research office is there to support researchers, putting in applications for funding to all different agencies, and then the tech transfer offices are there to support when you develop an idea, a novel idea, as part of that research, potentially that may have a commercial application or a societal application where it's going to benefit, I suppose, society as a whole, and how we can develop that and ensure that it's not just in a book sitting on a desk somewhere, that it's actually going to be used by us and used in society, and that's going to become something that is not just like, not just in a thesis as such. Just some of the other points, I think, Senator, it was the grouping was to 42, isn't it? Sorry, just the last couple of points. Yeah, I suppose the academic freedom that we've highlighted, that I think very clearly that is respected, that this bill in no way, shape or form would in any way interfere, I suppose, with academic freedom for either staff or students, and that's been guaranteed through a number of other bills as well to protect those staff, those academic freedoms. And very much so that I would believe that this bill will support research and development, and particularly around the SDGs, particularly around the Sustainable Development Goals, because that is where funding is available, at a lot of levels, here in Ireland through Exchequer, but also at a European level. So I would very much see that our researchers are applying for and getting funded in these particular areas. And I think that is probably me. I know there's probably a few other points, but I know that the intentions here are well grounded. And I just believe that this bill has so much to offer that I cannot wait to see that when it's been put in place. So, Senator Ryan.